Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Dan.
Together we are the Office Blokes.
Yes, we are.
It is true. American in the UK, 5 British culture shocks.
15.
5 British culture shocks.
I've seen this.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I've seen Travelling with Kristen a few times.
Yeah.
I think she's
Some
new
of
to
her
us
stuff.
though.
Yeah. To you two, yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen it before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this might be filmed in Manchester.
Oh, nice.
Ah, excellent.
15 British culture shocks. It's just someone on spice hanging over a bin in the middle of the street with no
Probably,
problems.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a culture shock. I think you see that everywhere. Wherever
True,
you go,
yeah,
you're always going
yeah.
to get people
Yeah,
like
you do, don't
You're always
you?
going to get them. You know,
True.
different things with culture shocks for me is when I go certain different countries and you get into a culture shock. It's things I've never been shocked by any different culture. You try and just fit in,
Yeah.
whatever they are. But sometimes like living accommodation. You got Japan. The first time I went to Japan, you go in there and I was like, "Where's my wardrobe?"
Yeah.
There isn't one.
Right.
It was like a piece of wood on the wall.
Yeah.
That you hung your hangers on the wood.
Ah, right.
And I was
okay.
like, "You having a laugh?" And then try to find a place for my suitcase to go.
Yeah.
In the room, and I was you're right in the middle of Japan, right in the middle of Tokyo in Roppongi, which is like the nightlife capital of Tokyo.
Yeah.
And you realise that this little shitty room I've got is probably one of the most expensive bloody hotel rooms in
Really?
the area.
Wow.
And you got nothing. Turned the key and broke the window. One of them type thing. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what culture shock, because obviously she's a young girl. It's probably going to be like nice culture shocks, I'd imagine. She's not
Yeah.
walked around Manchester,
them might be
walked
like-
around
It
Moss
might
Side
not be
and-
Manchester. I'm pretty sure I've seen it
someone's
before. And I'm
chased
pretty
her.
sure it was.
Yeah.
From what I remember, I think she was in Manchester, like Salford Keys.
Right.
Some of
Something
them
like
might
that.
involve like shops and food, meals,
Yep.
music, things like that. I'm
Price.
guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose the price of American produce, because if you want to buy a bag of Takis now, like that junkie just had on that Code Blue cam, they're £3 each for one about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to be £8, for the big ones in all the American
Yeah,
shops in
right.
Manchester. It's a culture shock for me. Let's check it out anyway. American in the UK, 15 British culture shocks.
I love the UK, but there's definitely some things that shocked me when I got here. And probably the first one is how much nature there is. When you think of going to the UK, a lot of us tourists think about going to London, but really the UK is so much more. And being here in Northern England, I'm just shocked by the number of parks and cycling routes
Crosswich.
and just nature that there is everywhere, even in a
That leads her on to number 2, dogging.
I don't want
Again,
that to be a culture
I don't
shock
think that's exclusive just to the UK, mate.
Yeah.
big city like Manchester. But unfortunately, with that comes some allergies, and it seems like I've gotten allergies for the first time in my life being here in the spring. And I guess it's hay fever because a lot of my friends have it as well. And from what they've said, it's caused a lot by these yellow rapeseed oil flowers that are in bloom everywhere. So yeah, I've been having like all the symptoms. I'm sure you know what they are if you had them too, like itchy, watery eyes and sneezing and stuffy nose and stuff like that. So I've been suffering a little bit from that that I didn't expect. But fortunately, the medicine here is really cheap, and like you can get allergy medicine over the counter for like 50 cents or 50p or £1 or something. Something that I'm still adjusting to is how friendly the people are here in Northern England. It's genuinely shocking after 2 months of being here. I still haven't fully adapted to this aspect. Like, I'm still caught off guard when strangers just say, hiya, or the guy at the flower shop is like, hello, love, like as if he knows me. And it just
I wouldn't trust anyone with a hat on with a ginger beard, would you? Hey, waving at me.
That's
Did you
why,
do- oh, wait a
that's why I
minute.
don't wave at people. Point and shout.
kind of permeates every level of society, from just people walking down the street or out in the forest to the people working at the airport, people in shops, restaurants, and even new friends that you make. I've been just so blown away by how kind and generous the people are. Like people who I've only known for a couple days or a couple weeks, and they're like offering to pick me up at the train station or take me to the airport or help me with stuff with my career and hobbies and mentor me in music production. And like, when's the last time that one of your
Shall I tell you something?
Yeah, it's all men, by the way.
Get her on a train, get on the
That's what I was
airport.
just going to say. Yeah. Do you want me to pick you up?
Yeah, I studied music production. Do you want to come in?
It's not you, Dave, she's talking to, is it?
Friends offered to take you to the airport, right? Like, it doesn't happen. They just be like, get an Uber. But
in the
here,
van.
it's people are like, what can I do to help you? Or do you want to come to this house party? Do you want to meet my friends? Do you want me to introduce you to these people?
Is
Gonna
she,
meet the parents.
is she a student?
Don't know. Can't remember.
Because it's kind of like, do you want to
quite
come
young.
to the house party, studying music production, things like that. I'm wondering if she's surrounded by students.
Yeah,
Maybe.
'cause students can be any age now, can't they?
Yeah.
It is true.
And don't say it's just because
Is that what you're going to be doing now? House parties and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
College in Warrington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cambridge, Oxford, Warrington.
I'm a girl. Like, it's everyone. And just the other day, I was having drinks with my friends that I've known for like 2 weeks. And one of the guys that was there, named Mark, he was really cool. And he left, and my other friend was like, oh no, like Mark's leaving. And he had just met him the day before, and they are two British guys. And they had bonded in one day and had become the best
I don't think she understands sarcasm. Really. Oh no, Mark's leaving. Ah.
of friends. And like other guys that I've met that have been friends for 2 weeks, like everyone treats each other the same, whether you've known them for 2 weeks or 2 months or 20 years. The other day I was just walking through this neighborhood called Ancoats, and people were just waving to each other, smiling, like security guards, people sitting at tables. And I ended up in this 15-minute conversation with a woman who was just standing outside of a restaurant. And that kind of stuff just doesn't happen where I'm from. Coming here to this park, some guy passed me on his bike and he's like, oh, sorry. People apologize for even passing you on the sidewalk. So it's kind of funny, but I really like it. I have no
Ancoats
Because you shouldn't be. Because you should be on there.
That's true. Ancoats used to be a dump, didn't
Oh,
it?
it was the roughest.
Yeah,
It was the roughest place in Britain at one
Yeah.
point. Ancoats.
Yeah, it was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's, now it's the nicest.
It's
Yeah.
come a long way, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Beautiful
huge.
there now.
I think-
Don't know when the last time you were there. I was there weekend. It's
Uh,
absolutely brilliant.
Was it?
Probably
Yeah.
within the last 6 months or so, something like that.
So you've seen what it's about
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But if you go past, tell you what I did do the other day. Probably about 6 months ago was the last time I was there before the weekend, and I went past New Islington.
Yeah.
Mate, you want to see how many flats they put up there? There's at least 10 blocks of new flats there.
Really?
Mm.
Wow.
It
You know where
used
New
to-
Islington tram stop is there?
Yeah.
Right there. There's
There's
loads.
been a lot of
You
building
can't
going
see.
on. So, I mean, at night time, Manchester, at certain points, you can see in
Yeah,
there. You can
yeah.
see all the
cranes,
cranes
yeah,
and
the
stuff
red
like that.
lights,
So
yeah.
still
Yeah.
a hell of a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So
It's cool to see,
great.
isn't it? It
Yeah.
really is.
It's
But going back to the friendship and all, I went playing football last night with a group of lads I've never met before in my life. Someone advertised it online and said, we're looking for new players, and I thought, you know what, I'll go around and play.
yeah.
And I turned up, never met any of them in my life. By the time I'd left, we were getting on like we knew each other for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time we played, and then one of them was even on the other team, but we were chatting all the way through the game.
Yeah.
Like bantering with each other.
Hassle. Break
All
your
the
legs in a minute.
That's what it was, yeah, the kind of sort of thing. And at the end, we were having a chat, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, we knew mutual people, sort of thing. And he was talking different things. And I was walking back to the car, we're having a chat, and
Yeah.
it's like you've known him for like 20 years.
Football's great for that.
So it's
though,
kind of
isn't
true that what she's saying.
Yeah.
We have got in the north, we have got a very open personality.
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
I think sometimes you just need that one common interest, as like an icebreaker,
Yeah.
and whether it's football or whatever it is, and then you're off as soon as you find something like
Yeah,
that. aren't you?
Yeah.
noticed, however, that people are also really blunt. This is most noticeable in restaurants, actually. I can't tell you how many people I've heard send stuff back to the kitchen because it wasn't right. The eggs are too cold, the bread wasn't toasted enough, whatever. But it's not like they're complaining, it's just that they're being very assertive. And whereas people do that in the United States as well, I think we're more likely to just kind of suck it up and be like, oh, this isn't what I ordered, but I'll just eat it anyway. Or everyone else has their food, so you don't want to send it back. But here, no, people are like, this is wrong, take it back. So they do like to joke as well and kind of like give you a hard time, especially me, because I don't know what they're saying half the time with all of the slang. So if people do that to you, then don't take it personally. I'm also shocked at how safe I feel here. It isn't something that I really thought much about before I left the US, but now that I'm here, like I really just feel so safe. Like not only are there no wild animals out to get you, but you don't have to worry about guns, and even being out in parks and trails by yourself, that can be very dangerous in the US. And I would never feel comfortable hiking by myself there. But here I do. And people say, like in my neighborhood, they're like, you don't have to lock your door here. And that's definitely not the case in Florida. So that has been shocking in the best way.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, no matter where you are. Obviously, I grew up not far from here, which is classed as nice sort of area, and you lock your doors. We got burgled.
When I lived there, I got burgled.
Yeah, people go to the nice areas to burgle houses.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a bit of a...
I think if you live in an apartment block, sometimes it's... but I've known in our apartment, I live in an apartment block, I've known on some of the lower floors that people go in and try the doors. People have said we've had our doors tried a few times,
Wow.
But as soon as I go in anyway, I lock my door behind me anyway, even if someone's behind me. if I know Aiden's coming up the elevator, I always lock it anyway just to piss him off.
Yeah, I don't think anywhere really... I mean, there's nice places in the UK where... Even not just nice places, remote places. If I don't lock my doors, no one's going to go and try the handle on my little street.
Yeah.
But you still do it.
You still do it.
Yeah.
And I think she's probably using a phrase there, a term of like, you don't even have to lock your door. It's that safe.
Yeah.
I don't think she physically means it, because I think you still would lock your door.
Yeah.
The safety in parks and stuff like that. Yeah, I think when you go parks nowadays, I won't go in. I mean, Prestwich Park's probably a nice part of the town, isn't it? So it's probably a safe sort of like haven. But if you I won't go to the west side of Withenshaw Park and places like that, at night.
No, not
at night.
Things like
that.
that.
Anywhere can be a bit dodgy, can't it?
Yeah.
But I think during the day,
Alexandra Park, places like that.
You don't hear of that many incidents in parks, really, do you?
Not
serious ones.
Because the more secure now, aren't they? A lot of them lock up at night, so you can't go in at night.
Yeah.
But if you go to Woodhouse Park,
yeah,
I wouldn't risk around there at night. Yeah.
All right, and we got to talk about the food, you guys, because I am still shocked at how good the food tastes here. I'd just been back in the US for a few months and was kind of just getting used to the tasteless, bland food and the kind of not ripe fruits and vegetables. And then coming here, everything just tastes so much better. I found out that the UK is among the top 10 countries in the world with the highest food quality standards. So that's definitely a good thing. But on the flip side, the food also goes bad really fast, which means it's fresher, which means it probably has less preservatives, probably less modification. I've noticed that the sell-by dates and the consume-by dates are a lot shorter than they are in the US. Fruits and vegetables go bad within a couple days, whereas in the US you can get away with shopping like once a week. And the chicken goes bad really fast, like 1 or 2 days. You better cook whatever chicken or meat that you bought. And I actually read that in the UK, it's not allowed to spray the chicken with chlorine, which is allegedly an acceptable practice in the US. So that might have something to do with it. The first day I bought chicken and I didn't cook it for 2 days and it was already starting to look off. I also read that they treat their animals a lot better here with more compassion compared to the factory farming in the US. So that is a really good thing. And I've also noticed that even though the Brits liked their baked goods, that the food doesn't taste as sweet. And that could be because of the recent sugar tax. But then on the other hand, which is weird, I've noticed a lot of foods have fake sugar, like artificial sweeteners in them, which is not so good. So I'm not really sure what the story is there. It's even hard to find sparkling water that doesn't have artificial sweeteners and flavorings in it. So maybe they cut back on real sugar and started using fake sugar.
I think there's an element of preference there, because even go back 20 years and bread in France versus bread in the UK is sweeter in France. Like we tend to not over sweeten things like breads and
sweet bread.
Sweet bread. Never had sweet breads, have you?
Yeah.
Do you know what they are, Mike?
Well, I've heard of them.
Order them next time you're out.
I will do. I'll get 10 of them.
They usually come in pairs.
I'll get pairs.
They also have American-style pancakes in plastic wrap, which is really sacrilegious. Pancakes should be made fresh, but you can find them in the bread section and also in the refrigerated section. But I have not been daring enough to try them yet. Speaking of food, another thing that really surprised me was seeing so many couples together shopping in the grocery store. You wouldn't think that that would be weird to me, but coming from the US, I think I'm just used to one person going, because either one person in the relationship more takes on the role of going grocery shopping, or even if both people could go, it wouldn't be very efficient or productive for two people to go when one person can go. So I've thought that it's very adorable to see couples shopping together, and it's like really good teamwork, you know? They're checking out the food, they're reading the labels, checking prices, and...
Do you go shopping in couples?
Yeah.
You do?
I do both, because like obviously working next to a supermarket, a lot of the time I just do the shopping on the way home. But now Ash has moved in, once a week we go and do a shop together as well.
Oh man,
Do you always do a big shop, do you?
We've started doing a big shop once a
I
week.
tend to go near it.
You're a proper family man now, you aren't you? Not bad.
It's a bit steep.
I like it. I like it.
Wow.
Go and do the big shop, and then you just get your little bits.
God, I'm always in the shop. Try and do a big shop.
You always done your shop, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like every day there's something, like if it's milk or whatever because there's one over the road.
Yeah.
It's too easy to go in there as well, isn't it? But
yeah, I do like the daily. I do like the daily routine just on my own, because there's no way I'm going in the shop with Gainer. Fucking no chance.
Yes, the big shops are a long time, aren't they?
I wait in the car.
Yeah,
Don't forget. Sit in the car and wait, listen to music, or go on my phone and do quizzes or whatever on my phone while she's doing. There's no way I'm going in. It takes forever.
Don't forget, Ash is going to be my sugar mama soon, so I'm going to be following her around the supermarket. Going,
that's the worst thing you see. You see the guy following like a freaking loose, like I don't know what you want to call them, but just like a loose spare wheel.
Yeah,
just sort of just pushing walking behind the trolley
excuse me, Ash, can I have some wine this week?
And you pick something up and you look at it and you go, I'll put that in, and then she just takes it out and puts it back. And I'm looking at other people and I'm like, there was a guy the other day who wanted to do this. They were at the what's it, aisles? There was a big congregation at like some fucking part of the aisle, and I'm like,
reduced stuff.
That's what I didn't know what it was, so I thought, being one of them, I was thinking, what's going on there? I'm going to have a look, see what it is. So I kind of like pushed my cart over there, and I was like, looking, I was like, oh, it's that reduced aisle, and I seen some guy, no one could he wouldn't let anyone near, and I thought, she'll just take shit out of his trolley. He had his back to me, and I thought, I could just take shit out of his trolley and put it in mine.
It really has brought out the worst in people, those reduced aisles.
It's like a scrum, isn't it?
People are waiting for him to bring shit around.
No, it's a sport. When I used to live near the big Tesco in Alty, it was before it became a sport. So around 8 o'clock at night, you'd walk past it and they'd just put stuff out, and you'd go, grab a pack of sausages or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to use them tonight.
Yeah, and then kind of word got out, and then there'd be a queue for an hour of people that all knew each other. And then as soon as they put it out, it's like you see little old ladies getting pushed out of the way. And people just buy it, like bags of salad that are going out of date that day. And I've seen a trolley full of them. You must have 100 of them. And it's literally, it's restaurant owners.
I was going to say,
Chinese restaurant owners.
And stuff like that. Getting all stuff like that.
Yes, it's brought out such a dickhead side in people. Like,
there's no way I'm going in. Two of you going in. That's proper like gimpy that. So
it's a lot easier with one.
Yeah, big time.
Discussing what they're going to buy together, and it's like a family affair. And for some reason, that's weird to me. But if you're from England, you probably think that's normal. The recycling is also really impressive here. I've gotten so used to composting that I don't know how I'm going to go back to normal life in the US without it, or anywhere in the world for that matter. There's not that many countries that have this level of composting and recycling, but I think most of them are probably in Europe. But I have 5 different recycling bins at my house, and in the US we have 1, and like most of that's not actually recycled. So here in my neighborhood, they recycle around 70 to 80% of all of the trash, whereas in the US, the national average is more like 32%, and that includes a lot of trash that's not actually recycled, like trash that they burn or trash that's collected at construction sites and things like that. So I don't know, I wish that more countries would invest in greener ways to reduce waste, and
I agree with that, but at the same time, it's the curb appeal of many towns and cities now is just horrible, with like loads of different coloured bins scattered everywhere. It's just a proper eyesore.
Most of it doesn't get recycled as well.
No,
if you actually look into it, if they find contaminants in it, which could be a jar that's not being washed out properly, a lot of it just goes in the landfill. The recycling,
really?
Yeah, it's really bad.
But I know over here a lot of the refuge places, they have workers there segregating stuff as they go, as it gets dumped in. They're still segregating, so they do the job quite well over here.
Yeah.
But it's just the eyesore of the bins with someone's got a massive paintbrush and painting number 52 on it or whatever. And I'm like, Jesus. Proper eyesore.
But there's that many of them, and
there's
too
too many.
Big. It's like a lot of places like you get terrace towels, and basically nowhere to put them half the time.
Not far from where I live. You might have seen this, Dave, because Ash lived down that area. When you go down some of them terraced houses, and some of them are made into like apartments now, so they've all got 5 bins each. So outside, there's like 4 apartments. There's 20 bins outside.
I can
And
imagine.
I'm like, geez, nowhere to park the cars.
It's not been thought about, has it?
No. It's a joke.
It's a good thing that they're doing, but like I say,
It's an eyesore.
It's
a mess. Looks shit.
It's been really impressive here how they do things. A lot of things just seem to make logical sense here. Maybe it's that British sensibility, but even things I noticed, like
it's just that we invented everything, so we came up with the best way of doing it.
going to the airport, where in the US it's kind of a free-for-all with cars blocking each other and people trying to get out on the streets, whereas here they just have these little diagonal parking places where everyone can park and drop off people and then
you get dropped off at the roundabout outside the airport now, don't you?
I did that a couple of weeks ago.
Best way, if you're going to pick someone up at the airport, pick them up from the Radisson SAS, the Radisson Blue.
Yeah.
Because you just drive in there, wait outside, and people can get the access from the Travelator thing.
Yeah, it's just moved the problem over there.
Yeah, but I get dropped off at the airport when I'm going anywhere, and it costs for like 30 seconds. It's like £5.
Yeah.
And it's like £10 for a minute.
You just got to throw people out the door.
It's a good one. It's if it's Terminal 3, so I dropped Jack off there a couple of weeks ago, and there is a little roundabout there. You can just drop them off there, and
where the train station is.
You can literally see the entrance to it.
Yeah, but sometimes you have the parking attendants on the on that roundabout, and the police. If you stop straight out at you. Yeah.
Wow.
Be on their way without blocking the road. So I don't know why in the US we haven't done anything like that. Maybe it's for security reasons, but if you've ever been to LAX or New York or Miami International or really like any major airport, you know what I'm talking about. And I was shocked the first time I got to Manchester and I saw people just leisurely parking in front for a minute, dropping off their guests and then being on their way with no stress. They also have a lot of common sense signage around, whether it's road signs or ads that you'll see on a bus stop or on the side of the road, or a sign that someone put on the bathroom door or something that's broken. It's kind of like, it seems like the signage here is just kind of talking to you matter-of-factly, or if it's something like from the NHS, from the National Health Service, it'll be just, some practical information that you might want to know. And there's some way that they go about writing the signs where you just feel like it's very direct, versus in the US, everything seems like it's marketing to you. One thing that I'm definitely still getting used to is walking or biking on the left side of the road. I just feel a little disoriented all the time, and I feel like I look back and forth like 10 times before I cross the street.
Actually, if you walk in country lanes, you're supposed to walk on the right, because you're supposed to walk into oncoming traffic.
You're supposed to, aren't you? Did they not change that about 10, 15 years ago, something like that?
I'm not sure, but common sense dictates you want to see the cars coming. You don't want to get clipped from behind.
Oh, they absolutely, definitely used to do that.
Yeah, the narrow lanes going down the back here towards Dunham.
Yeah,
it's you get all on a Saturday and Sunday. You get all the walker pods sort of like clogging up the streets, and they're pain in the arse and try to get through with your car. Yeah,
and even your bike brakes are on opposite sides of the bike. So I learned that really quickly. The back brake and the front brake are reversed, so very good to know.
I wouldn't even know.
I don't know which one's which.
I'm not going to lie, I don't know. Is it left for back?
Back brake's on the left, because that's how I used to do skids and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember back from when I was a kid.
It is. Yeah. They are on different sides, that's right.
Yeah, and the back brake's on the right over there in the USA.
Must be, yeah. Oh, that would be weird, that would. I'd have to swap them over.
Otherwise, but you ain't getting on a bike. I've got 2 bikes if you want to buy
them. Oh, you have it all, haven't you?
Still working out Fahrenheit to Celsius conversions in my head. I think Fahrenheit makes sense.
You do Fahrenheit when it's hot and Celsius when it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
So you go, it's like 100 degrees outside, or it's like 1 degree. Whichever one makes it sound more extreme is what we go with, isn't it?
But my friend says it's confusing. He probably has a point. I guess it is more straightforward in Celsius because 0 is freezing and 32 is hot, whereas in Fahrenheit, 32 is freezing and 0 is more freezing, and 80 or 100 is hot. So you be the judge. I'm also getting used to the lack of climate control around here, which is pretty strange for someone from the US, especially Florida. Fortunately, there is heating in most buildings, but what you won't find is air conditioning, maybe in some of the big office buildings and some of the more modern buildings, but not in most houses and not in most stores and even small hotels or large hotels. So that's definitely taken some getting used to. Even the big department stores like Zara won't have air conditioning. So it's a bit weird for an American like me, but I'm adapting. The scary thing is that people didn't need air conditioning here for most of history, but it seems that things are getting a lot hotter these days. So even though people are definitely enjoying the sunny and warm weather, it's a bit scary to think of like how warm it actually is in Europe these days. But what's probably shocked me the most is the price of housing here. Now, I know that London is expensive, but I didn't expect the market to be so competitive in Manchester. I've heard that it could be because a lot of people are moving out of London to Manchester in search of cheaper housing, so maybe that's putting some upward pressure on the prices. But also it seems like the UK is in a housing crisis in general in most of the country, and this has to do with a lot of reasons, from a lack of building houses to general inflation, population growth, and just higher demand. But I was so surprised at how competitive it was here, even to the point that if you go to an open house, there could be 30 other people competing with you for this.
I saw a post on one of the local groups I'm on, and someone was asking for a house to rent because they went to view a house to rent the other day, him and his wife, and there was 4 other couples viewing the same house at the same time that had just come on the market, and they've got in a bidding war for rent.
Wow.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Bidding war for rent, and they missed out on it.
Wow.
So
It's a big thing these days, isn't it?
The street that my bro lives on, the way to sell houses there is you give a minimum price and then it's closed envelopes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That happens quite a lot, and it could be.
They do that in Scotland, don't they?
Well, it's
That type of thing.
it happens. Alty and
happens
Hale,
a lot,
it happens
yeah.
loads because
Right, okay.
people are so desperate for houses there. You know, and you've got obviously a lot of the people from Hong Kong and stuff that are coming with money that just want to live in the area.
They all go Mike's area. They're all Mike's neighbours now.
They're the ones that can't afford to live in Alty.
It is an Alty, isn't it?
Technically,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but it'll be, you know, if a house is on for 400, it'll be offers above 400.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be like everyone just bid, and then whoever gets the highest gets the house.
Yeah, but I think the volume of Chinese, Hong Kong residents that are coming to this area now, it's driving the pricing right up.
Oh, it will do, yeah.
I've seen top of the road. There's a Hong Kong based real estate agent now.
Yeah,
it's all in Chinese writing on the shop front as well. I don't know if you spotted it.
Yeah, I have.
But it's all in Mandarin or whatever it is. And when you look inside, they're all Chinese or Asian. Inside. Yeah, so it's definitely taking over around this area.
Very popular around here. Very popular.
Yeah.
Same property, and that's something that you would see in New York or LA. I didn't expect that here, and the prices were really high. The market's super competitive, and it might even be that the landlords and the rental agencies don't even reply to your inquiries, which is just crazy. But I mean, Manchester is the second biggest city in the UK, so there's a lot of people here looking for housing, but
that was the first.
That is a problem that I definitely didn't anticipate to the degree that it is here. But anyway, what shocked you the most when you came to the UK? Or are you a local and you can help me make some sense of these cultural differences? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
I can answer one of them. The government sold all of the housing stock and didn't build any more.
Correct. That's right.
Yeah, sold them all on the cheap to everyone, and then went, why can't we afford to build houses now?
Yeah.
Because you sold them all at 10% of the value.
Why have you got nowhere to live? I mean,
It's just
unbelievable.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one.
It's
ridiculous.
Yeah, Manchester's definitely it's definitely the place to be at the moment.
It's on the up, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's sort of like congregating around here. When I come out of the football the other day, there was a taxi driver saying something. He's having some sort of like thing with these kids in front of me, not kids, with these like younger lads. And I said, "What's he on about? What's he saying?" Because I was having a proper argument with the taxi drivers. They wouldn't take anyone. all the black cabs were all Aussie wanted 50 quid to town from the ground, which is about a £3 journey.
From the ground.
Yeah. They're all, 'cause it was raining,
Daylight
it's like drizzling. So this guy says, he started talking to me, and he was obviously a southerner. And he went, he hears a southern accent, and he's like, I went, mate, he doesn't know what a southern accent is. Man's from like Bangladesh or somewhere. He went, yeah, fair point.
I hate those
and I thought,
Cockneys.
well, yeah, and I thought, that's what you're getting in Manchester now. He's like, he said, I'm a local, and I was like,
Yeah.
you're not. You're talking to me now. I know you're not a local.
Yeah.
But he's we are getting a lot of people moving up from the south. Hell of a lot.
Yeah. It's just up and coming, isn't it? It's looking like a proper city centre now as well, with all the skyscrapers going up and everything.
It's looking more like an international city skyline, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Whereas it's always been very developed, Manchester, but it's always been quite low. You know, like
traditional sort of lower form. That
the
really old
department
buildings,
stores were the big ones, weren't they? And they're only like 6-7 stories.
Yeah,
I found a place the other day in town when I went in there weekend, a Mexican place. And I'd tell you what, it's some of the nicest Mexican food I've had.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called something like Liquor and Burn.
Oh yeah, loads of my mates used to work there. I've eaten there loads. Lost Liquor and Burn.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I've been in there loads.
Oh, it's mint, mate.
Yeah,
Food in there is really good.
Nice. Where's that?
Northern Quarter, isn't it?
Northern Quarter.
Near Smithfield Market.
Yeah, right facing it.
Yeah. I've had loads of mates work there over the years, so I used to get cheaper food and go in there quite a lot.
It's still reasonably priced.
Yeah.
But the food in there was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Brooklyn Lager on tap.
Not
as
been in
well.
there. No, I was just drinking a Mexican beer, so it was.
Nice.
It was really good.
Sounds good.
Nice.
That's a good one, that anyway.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.